What is good, horror horde? This is your boy Horror Gamer back with another video for you, and as you can tell by the title of this video, this is another Is It Worth the Hate? But before we get into it, just know that your boy Horror Gamer's Is It Worth the Hate have spoilers in them all day, every day. So if you haven't seen this movie, go check it out. Come back. Let me know in the comment section what you think, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, whether you think the movie's full of hate that it deserves, or whether it's hated for no reason. So, but anything beyond this point is on you. So, with all that being said, as you can tell by the title of this video, we are going to be exploring and asking ourselves the question, is it worth the hate on American Werewolf in Paris? So, is American Werewolf in Paris worth the hate? Now, I know, like on Rotten Tomatoes, it got like a 9% from critics and like a 30% from users. So this movie's been shit on a lot. But is it worth the hate? In my opinion, absolutely not. This was one of my go-tos as a kid. Even though, yes, American Werewolf in London was better, and this, you know, and this was just, it's what it was, okay? It basically was this group of people who, they're daredevils, and they get these daredevil points by doing this crazy shit, and they go to Paris to do this stuff. And they end up in some kind of nightclub because they got an invitation by this weird dude, and they end up fucking, you know, end up being attacked by these werewolves. This weird French guy is a werewolf. He's like the leader of the pack. And you find out that the girl that the main character falls in love with, she's actually a werewolf too. So there's kind of this love triangle thing, and it's, you know, boy sees girl, boy falls in love with girl, girl turns out to be a werewolf. And girl ends up in this fucking cult or whatever, these werewolves, and the guy gets dumped right in the middle of it. One of his friends gets killed, and he ends up like in American Werewolf in London, when the wolf kills him and he comes back to his friend and he's like decaying and shit. That's what happens in this one. Was it, like I said, was it as good as American Werewolf in London? Absolutely not. I mean, American Werewolf in London was a classic. The transformation scene heard around the world. The effects, you know, there was really not much CGI, if any at all, back then, so it was all practical effects. So it was practical wolf effects with him wolfing out and stuff. The werewolf looked a lot better. You know, American Werewolf in Paris came around a time where CGI was new, you know, new to the game in the movie making world. So, with that being said, the CGI was shitty. Let's just be honest. The werewolves look horrible. But it wasn't a bad movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the werewolves, like, even though they did look a little scary, they didn't look good because, like I said, CGI was new. Now, if this movie was made, say, like today, I think it'd be awesome, you know? I think it'd be great because we have come so far in visual effects and, you know, CGI that a movie like this would prosper very well nowadays. But like I said, back in the mid to late 90s, CGI was just starting to come around, and it just, I think that in itself is what really killed this movie for people, and I think that's why critics hated it so much, was the fact that it wasn't a bad story, it was just the visual effects were terrible. Like when they were first, like, They mixed it with, like, special effects. So, like, when they're wolfing out and shit, that's cool. Like, you can see, like, their veins popping out and shit, and they're starting to wolf out, eyes change or whatever. But once they become full-blown werewolf, it's CGI, and it's terrible CGI. But all in all, like, the hate that it gets, I don't think it's warranted because it's not a bad movie. It's actually a very good movie, in my opinion. It's fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, some of the kills are pretty cool. It got the comedy when it needs to have the comedy. You know, it's the right amount of scary when it needs to be scary, and it sucks you back into the story. But what really killed it, what really killed the movie, I think, for a lot of people was the CGI. Unfortunately, that's the way of the world. That's the way this world turns. If it doesn't look good, it gets hated on. You know, you tend to forget about how good the story is and how fun the movie is when you get terrible CGI. And unfortunately, that was what did it for a lot of people, was how the wolves looked. They didn't even really look like wolves. I don't know what they looked like, but it was still fun though. This was my go-to as a kid. Like I said, I used to watch this movie a lot. So, final verdict is American Werewolf in Paris worth all the hate that it gets? Absolutely not. I definitely recommend you check it out. It's one of those popcorn flicks. It's turn your brain off and just enjoy an hour and a half of just silly nonsense. You know, it's a werewolf movie. Come on. How real does it need to be? So, if I can find it on Blu-ray, I want to add that to the collection. Shit, if I can even find it on digital, I can't even find it on digital to purchase. You can watch it for free on certain platforms, but with ads. And this is a movie you don't want to watch with ads. You know, you just want to put it in, sit down, watch it, and have fun with it. I remember I had the VHS of it, and it was amazing. I wore that fucker out. And I think I had the DVD later, but I can't find it. I can't find it no more. So, I don't know. That's one that I wish I would have held on to. So, alright, Horror Horde, with all that being said, final verdict, is it worth the hate? Absolutely not. So, definitely recommend you check it out. So, with all that being said, I love you guys, thank you guys, and don't forget, if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button, along with that dingly ding ding button. That way, every time your boy Horror Gamer throws up one of these, is it worth the hates, that you're in the know. Also, when you're done doing that, head on over to the Horror Gamer Patreon. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Check out some of the cool perks we got. You know, we got movie nights. We got chill nights where we just connect and chill. I'm working on possibly doing some gaming nights. And also, the biggie, I just added, once a month we're doing a Horror Gamer Patreon giveaway. And all you got to do is be a patron. And I'm going to figure out how to work the contest in, but it's all you got to do is just be a patron. And then you're automatically entered. So, alright, Horror Horde. And then after you're done doing that, head on over to the Z Network and check out some of the cool stuff that we got over there. You know, a bunch of us got together and just create a little bit of everything for everybody, you know. So, alright, Horror Horde. With all that being said, I love you guys. Thank you guys. And until next time, this is your boy Horror Gamer saying, as always, don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.